To make a chunky wreath, you will need a metal frame, approximately 300 grams of chunky wool, and some decorations. We're gonna start by making the first knot. Take the short tail in your right hand and the long one in your left hand. The long one is the one which goes back to your pile of wool. You're making a twist, so your short tail is on top of your long one. Put your right hand through the back, grab the long tail and put it through the first loop. And pull the short tail to tighten it. Make sure your first stitch is not too big and it only fits 2 or 3 of your fingers. We will now lay our long tail on top of the frame, and we're gonna start at the bottom of the frame. Put your 3 fingers through the stitch and grab the long tail from underneath the metal frame. This is another loop. Put your fingers through it and then grab the long tail and put it through both of the loops. So that's another stitch ready. We're gonna do the next stitch the same way. Grab the long tail from underneath the metal frame. Put your fingers through the new loop. Grab the long tail and pull it through both loops. And here is another stitch ready. The metal frame has some sharp beads in it, so please be careful not to rip your wool. Now we're gonna continue the same and making the stitches one after another. The trick is to make every stitch the same size. Then your wreath will look perfect. Continue like this all the way around until you reach the end. Another tip is to pull every stitch back to make your wreath look chunkier and more full. Once you almost reach the end of your tail, make your last stitch and then we're gonna close our wreath. Pick up the short tail on the left side and put it through the loop on the right side. Now turn your work around. Make 1 or 2 knots with these tails. And the rest of the wool just hide at the back of the wreath. Turn your wreath back around and adjust your stitches and move the wool around so you can clearly see a heart-shaped wreath. Now you can decorate your wreath and it's ready. You can also use some LED lights to add some sparkle.